Damon Gonzalez from Latinbox Sports. I'm here with Connor Coyle, middleweight from Ireland, fighting out of St. Pete, Florida. How you doing today, Connor?
I'm good, Damon. Thanks for having me over.
Welcome to Slip Punches Show. We're here today to talk about Connor's up-and-coming fight, which is going to be November 21st, Tuesday, at the Coliseum in Tampa, Florida. Last time there was fights in the Coliseum was ESPN. Some years ago was Nate Campbell, and it's good to have boxing back in St. Petersburg area. Connor, let's talk about, you had a couple of fights in Ireland, going back home as a pro fighter. How did that work out for you and home cooking, going in front of your home crowd and fighting out there, and then coming back to the States to fight in the States? Because I know when the time came in the amateurs, you made that decision to turn pro. It happened very quick. So let's talk about that transition.
Well, obviously I had my debut here on October 7th of 2016. Then I went straight home and had 2 fights in Ireland. And there were only 4 rounders as I'm only starting out. So I fought in the same place as I was fighting my whole career as an amateur. So it didn't really feel much different being on the same ring with the same people, sort of coming to watch the fights, people that I've known back home, other than bringing all the fans from Derry back down to Dublin. They support me for my fights in Dublin, but coming back over, the support each fight over here is just growing and growing, and I'm very, very grateful and overwhelmed with the support that I'm getting here in Florida.
A lot of pedigree, a lot of history with Irish boxing. Of course, we can name 20 fighters. I mean, from the Andy Lees to the McCullens to the legendary Jack Dempsey. Yeah. Who was it in the turning point in your young career that led you to say, you know what, this is what I want to do?
Well, the start of my amateur career for, I'd say, 7 years at least, I didn't take it really serious as much as I should have. It wasn't until I was almost 20 before I started putting my head down and actually training. I was growing up watching the likes of Mayweather and stuff like that, and they were always my favourite fighters back then, and even to now Mayweather will be still one of my favourite. But as I say, I only started taking it serious really the last 7 years now, so I'm just pushing on and I want to get to the top. So as I say, I'm only really going the last 7 years.
Now, of course, in the amateur days, you had that fight against Connor Wallace, which didn't work out to your benefit. Have you just thought in your mind of fighting him on the pros?
No, I haven't took any heat to it at all. No, I haven't thought about it once. Obviously, that was part of the leading up to the Rio Olympics box offs and stuff like that, and I was out for 11 months before that. So it was very rusty coming into the fight, and the fight didn't play out in my favour. So after that fight, I decided I was going to turn over then shortly after. I was done with amateurs.
You'll be debuted on the 21st of November of Fire Fist Boxing Promotions. I mean, they really opened the door to give you a great opportunity to fight here in the St. Pete, Tampa area. Talk about preparation leading up to the 21st, and how's camp going?
Camp's going very well. Back home, I've been training for just a few weeks back home, getting on the sort of sparring shape before I even came over here. So Cahir Duffy and St. Joseph's Boxing Club looked after me over there for a few weeks. Then I came over here straight on the sparring with the Fire Fist fighters from Jody's team, Yamaguchi and stuff like that. Beck, a Russian from Fort Myers and stuff. So the sparring I've been getting so far, I'm only here 2 weeks, has been very intense, and we're just going to keep upping it every week, and we'll be ready for 12 rounds, never mind 8.
Highly talented Bryant Perrella, good fellow Perrella, will be into your training camp in another week or 2. Talk about the work coming up with Bryant Perrella, PBC fighter, well-grounded, welterweight, really nice kid. Talk about the work coming up with him.
Well, I was actually sparring him on Thursday. I just couldn't remember his name there. I was sparring him, Yamaguchi, and another guy from Fire Fist Promotions. So we had a good mix of sparring on Thursday. I think Brian actually did a lot of rounds all in the one go. So he's a good pedigree, and he's a good fighter, and I'm looking forward to getting the sparring over the weeks with everybody on the same team.
Coach Jimmy McLaughlin, former world champions, he has held working the chemistry with him. Talk about training camp with him and how things going.
Well, each camp just keeps getting better and better. This will probably be my longest camp yet, as we're going on to our first 8-round fight. So we're only 2 weeks into camp already, and we're already in phenomenal shape. We've still good 5 weeks of hard training left, including the sparring, and he's just doing his best to get me the best sparring as we can get here in Florida leading into this fight. He always does a good job in getting the opponents.
Walk us through that when your hands are taped, you're about to enter the ring, the bell rings, you're punching in the clock to do your job. Walk us through how gratifying it is to step into that ring as a young fighter with goals that want to accomplish and be a champion one day.
Well, getting the hands wrapped, the start from the change rooms, it's just head down and it's just tunnel vision, just focused. Before I step on that ring, walking out past the crowd, people cheering your name, jumping and cheering. Keeping the head down, just as I say, tunnel vision to get on the ring. Look across, stare at my opponent. And once that bell goes, you just get in, start letting the punches go, and everything comes after that, then as a bonus. And hopefully we're walking away on November 21st with another victory.
Very good. Connor, tell us how the fans can follow you on social media.
Twitter will be CJ Coyle 07, and Instagram, Facebook, just be Connor Coyle or Coyle 1414.
Here with rugged weight, middleweight Connor Coyle with Latinbox Sports. We thank you for this interview.
Thanks very much, Damon.
A pound-for-pound exclusive interview with Damon Gonzalez from www.latinboxsports.com. Your boxing news champions.